Well, hello there. I hope you guys are doing well today. Come on into the room and welcome to another week of Let's Get Ready in our You Can Homeschool series. I'm so glad that you guys were able to drop in on this video, whether live or you're watching it at another time. Before I go on, I always pray that whoever is supposed to see this, whoever needs this information, would be available, would be able to get the help that they need, because I love homeschool moms. My name is Anita Gibson. I'm a coach, speaker, educational strategist, and the author of the book Starfinder, and I have been homeschooling. My husband and I, we've homeschooled all three of our children. It took us over 20 years, and I have had the opportunity to help many other people homeschool as a director of several homeschool programs and as a homeschool consultant. So for those of you guys who are on right now, can you tell me, is my picture dark? Before I go any further, I just want to check. So for some reason, I can't see the comments here. So I'm going to look on my computer, and see if you guys can see me. Because it would be a terrible thing to do all of this and not be able to be seen. Okay, good. I can see it. It looks like I still can pull back on that a little bit. Let's see. Is that any better? All right, good. All right. So as I was saying, I'm glad you're here. And today I'm going to jump right in. So one of the things I want to talk about today is, oh, hey, Pat. How are you? Good to see you. So one of the things I want to talk about today is, who do you go to? Because I know that for a lot of moms, you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm the one in charge. You are probably asking yourself, questions like, can I really do this? I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't feel qualified. Am I really qualified? And I'm sure you may be asking yourself those questions as you're thinking about doing this thing called homeschool. But while you are asking yourself those questions, I have some questions for you. And I want you to really think about the answers. Who loves your child more than you do? Or your grandchild, or someone you are guarding, someone who you are a guardian for. Woo! Now, who has been teaching that child from the day they were born? Even in utero, they can hear your voice. And studies show that they're calmed when they hear their mother's voice. You have been talking to your child. You have been teaching your child from the moment they came into this earth. And my last question for you is, who is willing to figure it out more than you? Okay, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure where I'm going. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do this, but I feel called to this. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so when you have that calling on you, when God calls you to something, He always gives you everything you need. He never gives you an assignment and not give you the resources to accomplish it. You might not see them. You might not even believe they're there, but they are. And so I want to encourage you today that it is normal to have doubt. It is normal to ask questions. It is normal to say, am I going to mess up my child? But I'm here to tell you that you have what you need because you're willing to learn. If you're listening to me right now, you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow, you're willing to find out what you don't know. And I can tell you, over the past 25 years, I've seen you, Mom. I've seen moms like you who start off and maybe they don't know much of anything, but over time they learn. And guess who benefits the most from it? Their child. And so I encourage you, when you ask that question, who do you go to? You go to God. He'll help you every time with the assignments that he gives you. Okay. So now the next question is, or the next thing I want to talk about is the myth about curriculum. Because some of you are out there and you are frazzled and you are looking for the perfect curriculum that's going to work for your child. It's going to be like this magic pill. And when we take it, everything's going to just be wonderful. And they're going to love learning. And they're going to say, Mommy, can we do more? When I say, we're finished. No such thing. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Because there are too many factors that come into finding a curriculum. And I think sometimes we spend so much time on that is part of the reason why we're disappointed, because we put all of our eggs in the basket of curriculum. So if I find the right curriculum, if I do enough digging and I ask enough questions and I find out who else is using it and how they like it, then I'm going to find the perfect curriculum and everything's going to be all right. I want you to relax and know that one of the hallmarks of homeschool is change. We have the freedom to try something, and if it doesn't work, we can try something else. We don't have to keep sticking with something if it's not working. And so when we're trying to find this perfect curriculum, we're just putting too much energy on that. And one of the first things you want to do, especially if you have, your child has been in a traditional school system, is just to relax and just chill out for a little while and go play some games and have some fun and allow them to maybe get in contact with connection with their passions and the things that they enjoy doing. Some people call it deschooling, where you just take a break from all the traditions. And then you begin to, over time, some people take weeks, some people take months, over time begin to rebuild what you want your homeschool to look like. And homeschool is not bringing traditional school home. It's so much more. All right, so curriculum. It depends on your budget. It depends on how much time you have to prepare. It depends on whether you work from home or you work outside of the home. It depends on how you learn and how your child learns. I remember when I first started, I was talking to a homeschool mom who was just a little bit ahead of me, and I asked that question about curriculum. I was like, what really works? And she just looked me right in the eye and she said, Anita, anything works if you're willing to work. It's like, okay. So it really even wasn't about specifically what I picked, but it was more about understanding it's a process. So you do the best you can. You pick what appears to be something that would work. You connect maybe with some other moms that you know who maybe have children that are similar to yours, and you find out what they're using. But don't have too much energy on it. If you just go and pick out, you know how you get the books from the educational store with a lot of the books at the educational store now are Common Core connected for those of you who need that, because maybe you're just going to homeschool for a year and you're going to put your children back in school. Well, you might want a curriculum that's connected to Common Core, because that's what they'll be using when they return back into school. You can get those kind of books from the educational store. You can get them from online. You could start off with simply something like that in the core areas of ELA, your English, your math, your history, and your science. Just to get a feel for where your child is. Are they on level? Are they above level? Are there gaps? So this is really more of like a diagnostic. You guys like put your toe in the water and just get a feel for where they are first before you even think about, okay, now what's the next thing or what's the curriculum? Because I guarantee you it will probably change. All right, so the undercover world of chaos is the next thing I want to talk about. Have you had any days when there was amazing chaos going on? Hold on here. Let me check and see. I see some questions. How do you tackle homeschool while working a full-time job? That's Shannon. Hey, that is a great question. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. In fact, if you don't hear me talk about it in this live, remind me again, Shannon. So, the undercover world of chaos. I was asking do you ever have days when you just feel like, OMG, I'm going to like hurt somebody, or I'm going to pull my hair out. There's just confusion, and there's everything that could go wrong does go wrong, and you're just kind of sitting there going, what in the world happened? Well, I just want you to know that you will have days like that, but be aware that chaos never just comes out of the thin air. There's always some roots for chaos to be able to enter into your environment. Now, there's a small percentage of chaos that we have no control over because things happen and there's just nothing we can do about them. And we just learn to navigate those spaces, right? But do you know that there is some chaos in our lives that has to do with the way that we are parenting? I learned that the hard way. I can remember days when I would say, okay, we're going to be leaving in 10 minutes. Make sure you get your shoes on and put all your books away and, get your area cleaned and we'll be ready to go. And 10 minutes comes and I'm like, okay, let's go. And I have my purse and I'm heading out the door and they don't have shoes on. And the area I told them to clean up is a mess. And now my blood pressure is rising and I hear my voice rising and I'm like, what are we doing? We have to be to the doctor in the next. Why don't we have? And it's gone. You ever had a day like that? Well, over time, I realized I actually had more control over that day than I understood because my kids didn't move until I started yelling. I had trained them. It's not until mommy says it the third time and her voice is elevated and she looks like she's mad, that's when she means to really do it. And then everybody jumps and they go and they do whatever they do. And so I learned that I didn't need to control by my voice raising because it just created this environment of chaos. I was a part of the problem. And so I began to just very calmly put consequences in place. No anger. Just if you guys are not ready to go, especially if it was something fun, and you haven't taken care of the things that mommy asked you to do, you're not going to be able to go. I think I did that twice, and they got the message. I had to relearn that when I say something one time, my expectation is that you do it. And I'm going to stay focused enough on what I asked you to do. I'm not going to start talking on the phone. I'm not going to go start folding up laundry. I'm going to stay focused enough on what I told you to do so that I can observe whether you get it done. And then I can very calmly give you a consequence. And children learn very well from consequences. So there's more stories like that. But the point I'm trying to make is simply this. If you find that your days are chaotic, you have more power than you know. And much of it has to do with the way that you are interacting with your children. And when you're home with them 24/7, let me tell you, you have to find a rhythm, a way to connect with them, a way to get them to do the things that they need to do. even an understanding of interruptions and how to navigate them so that you're just not discombobulated when they occur. So the undercover world of chaos, I'm uncovering it just a little bit to empower you and to let you know that you have more control than you know. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is you can't pour from an empty cup, Mom. Some of us are overwhelmed. We are overworked. We are just beyond where healthy is. We're beyond where healthy is mentally as well as physically. And we have gotten so used to moving that we think we can make it for the long haul. But I'm here to tell you, as a mom who's been married, a woman who's been married for over 35 years, a woman who has children, 3 children that are in their 30s, that if you are pouring from an empty cup, there will come a day when you have nothing more to pour. And you will not be able to continue and finish what you intended, as much as your heart will want to, because there will be nothing left. There will be nothing left, and yet there will be much more that needs to be done. And so if you have chosen to take on this homeschool thing, there are things you have to give up. Like Shannon was asking earlier about being, how do you work in homeschool? There are ways to do that, but you're going to sacrifice. There will be things you can't do anymore. You'll have to put down some of the other things that you have participated in. You'll have to get focused in. You'll have to become more creative. Listen, you don't have to do everything, Mom. Some of you guys have this image of homeschool that it's me and I'm sitting at the table and I'm teaching all the subjects. No, you're the director, you're the principal, you're the facilitator. And at times you are the teacher. But you don't have to do it all yourself. You're just putting people in place to help you get it done. So if you're a working mom, you might be hiring tutors that can help you on certain days. You might change your hours at work. You might homeschool on, take that Saturday and Sunday when you're off work and use that as 2 of your days and have your Sabbath on another day. There can be all kinds of creative ways to get it done. But you need to sit with someone who's been down this path and just kind of, throw out ideas to get them to help you. You don't have to do it all. And I'm telling you now, you have the resources, and that's what I want to talk about next time. I want to talk about the fact that every family has resources that are right there and you don't even know it. People that can help you with math or can watch your child at certain hours or that are creative and can do the art for you. I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to try to do everything. Oh, let's see. I'm going to see what Ladybug Davis said. Nothing left, but much more that needs to be done. Yeah. And you don't ever want to be in that position. So as I learned that I didn't have to do it all, I began to reach out. I remember one time my son, we actually had a science group. It was him, his friend, and maybe one other person. And I just decided, since I have to teach, I decided I wanted to teach him science, that I would form this little group. And they created their own little science show called the Big Rick and Little D Science Show. And he was struggling with his reading, so I used these little science books that were like, you color them and they talk about different kinds of concepts, and he would practice reading it and learn more about whatever it was teaching. And then he and his friend would do this little show, and they had an intro and they introduced each other. They had music to play when it came in, and all of a sudden he began to enjoy his science. And I took that on. I wanted to do that myself. But I made a promise to myself that I'm not teaching chemistry. I don't want to touch biology again. That wasn't an interest for me. And so I hired that out. So we had nurses who were in our group, and they always did the chemistry and the biology and the physical science. And so you got to find the other people that are the other piece to your puzzle. And you put it all together and you have what you need. And your child has what they need. And you can make it for the long run. If you haven't figured out a way to take a break, to walk out that door and leave your children with someone you trust, sometime you're going to make this harder than it has to be. And so I encourage you, as a mom who heard that and didn't necessarily do it, I have some scars because I didn't. I had some mental challenges at some point because I didn't take the breaks. I almost had a mental breakdown at one point. Me. Because I didn't take the advice I'm giving you. Maybe that's why I'm so strong with it. Because I know what a difference a rest can make. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ladybug. I appreciate you guys. I do this because I absolutely love homeschool moms. And I think that you guys are doing one of the most amazing jobs in this world. And I don't bash teachers at all because they are amazing too in their own. Never, ever, ever underestimate who God made you to be. You are a teacher. And you've been teaching your children for quite a long time. You're just a teacher in a different way. And so, as I close, if you don't, you want some more strategies or some more ideas on how to make your homeschool work, check out my book, Star Finder. Natalie she's going to put that in the link for you. And if you have more questions and you want to share, a story with me, I'm going to send you a Zoom link if you would put your email in the comments. And I have 30 minutes today. If there are any more questions, or if there's anything that, you just want to talk with me personally or individually about. So I think that I have answered all the questions. Is there anything else before I call it a day? Let me just check here. See if I got it all done. All right, I think I'm good. I'm so thankful to be able to be here with you guys. And next week will be our last week in the series, Let's Get Ready. And I hope that you'll join me then and share the link out, share the post out so other moms can be encouraged. Love you guys.